What's up YouTube? This is going to be our guide how to use Ursaluna in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, make sure you leave below in the comment section and let's get into it. So all the Hisuian Pokemon are now out since Pokemon Home did drop, so I'm going to be starting to do coverage on them almost daily. Let's start with Ursaluna because this Pokemon is probably going to be something a lot of people have got their eye on because it's got some insane stats. So Ursaluna has got a mega attack stat of 140. We've got a beautiful health stat of 130. Defense is 105. And, you know, the rest of the stats are kind of average. But this Pokemon is going to be really powerful as a Guts user. So we're going to have a look at the abilities. We've got Guts, Bulletproof, and Unnerved. So Flame Orb obviously is a very good item for a Guts as the ability. Obviously there with the Guts, if your Pokemon is statused from the Flame Orb, its attack is going to get a 1.5 boost there. So it's going to ignore the burn, obviously halving the physical damage. So obviously, when you see a normal Pokemon, it is a normal and ground Pokemon. You straight away think of Facade being a good move to use there. So we're going to be using Facade. And also another great move it gets is Headlong Rush as a ground move. Now, it also does get Earthquake as well. So it's sort of up to you. The thing about Headlong Rush, it's got 120 base power compared to Earthquake, which has 100 base power. So it's kind of up to you what you run. The thing about Headlong Rush, it's got 20 watt base power. However, you have to drop your defense and special defense by 1 after using it. So if you don't really like that, you can actually have Earthquake, which is still going to be a very powerful move, but you could miss out on a little bit of damage there, whereas maybe with Headlong Rush, you might have got a KO. Now, there are a couple of variants you can run on this set. I've got Drain Punch in here, which is very good for sustain, considering Ursaluna is going to be going last most of the time. And I've also got Sword Dance on here as an option too. You may not even have to run Sword Dance on this. It learns a variety of really good coverage moves as well. So if you feel like you don't want to get Sword Dance up, you just want to spam Facade right away, you can absolutely do that. That'll work too. Let me give you some other move options you could actually use here. So we've got Crunch. That's great for any, Ghost-type Pokemon coming in there. Another move option you could run on there is Fire Punch too. That's not bad. I actually like Drain Punch better for coverage than Fire Punch, but I like how Drain Punch gets a sustain too. But I feel like instead of going Protect to get your Flame Orb up, it's probably better just doing Sword Dance if you're going to do like a status move that turn or just attacking. So that's what I would probably do. I wouldn't really waste the move slot on Protect. Maybe in doubles that would be okay, but I feel like it's definitely a wasted slot for sure. Another move that can get as well is Play Rough. That gives you a way to hit like fighting type Pokemon, but to be fair, most of the time you're just going to be spamming Facade there because it's just going to be hitting so hard. To give you an idea, I was battling the other day. I've done quite a few battles. It was two-shotting like bulky Corviknights and Garganacls. So that gives you an idea how strong this thing is. That was just straight up terror. Had my burn and with the Facade. It's very powerful kind of Pokemon. Guts is the best ability to run it. However, you can actually run Bulletproof as well. I will get to some Bulletproof sets because there is some viable things for that as well. But as for Terra, let's explain that one. So obviously Terra Normal is the first thing most people are going to jump to there because it's going to be extremely powerful with Facade. But there are a couple of other good ones too. So if you are running Play Rough, a good one is actually Fairy because that obviously is going to be nice. So if you're that normal typing, you're going to see a lot of fighting type moves coming your way. So with Fairy, you're going to be able to resist that. It's going to be good, right? And you're going to boost up, a Terra Play Rough as well. It's going to be very powerful. Another good one is Flying because that's going to resist fighting moves, but it's kind of bad because you're still going to be weak to Ice. So just, I'd probably go with Normal or Fairy. They're probably the two best ones I'd be going for there. You could go Fighting as well. I had a go at Fighting. That was pretty decent with Drain Punch as well. You had a lot of sustain. So that's another option you can go for there with Ursaluna. This has got so many usable moves that you can actually have on this. There's a lot of variants of the Gut set that are going to be very, very good here. Whether you're running slightly different moves to this, or, you know, you've got a status move on there like Sword Dance, it's going to be very, very good and a great slot on your team. Now, the reason I've written TR here for Trick Room, so you can actually use this for Trick Room. All you got to do, obviously, there is you want Brave Nature and you want to have 0 IVs in speed. So this is a great Trick Room Pokemon for sure. Whether you're running it in singles or doubles, this is going to be working very, very nicely. So it's got 50 base speed, which is very, very slow for sure. Almost sneezer, sorry about that. And yeah, so with that, you've got a very small amount of speed there, and which is going to be very, very nice. And you've got a lot of health too, and you've got a lot of attack. So that's going to be nice to do just heaps and heaps of damage. And you've got Sustain with Drain Punch and Facade. So yeah, this is a very, very good Pokemon that I see a lot of people using. If you've got any different variants that I'm running here to my Gut set, please leave them below. There's so many different little combinations you can do, but most of them do work there for sure. Let's check out the next option I feel could be good for Ursaluna as well. I'm not saying this is better than the next one, but I feel like the Guts one is probably going to be the best set, but this is some sort of variants that could still be really, really good. So I've got this as an Assault Vest set. So if you look down at its special defense, is only base 80, which is okay. It's nothing amazing, but with an Assault Vest on it, that's actually quite bulky for sure. Now, it's already got 105 base defense, which is good. So the EV spread I've run on these is going to be a little bit different. So, sorry, for the Guts one, I've got 248 in health, optimal for Flame Orb, 252 in attack for Adamant Nature, and I just popped the last into special defense if I didn't explain that one before. So this one here, I've done it as a little bit different. I've done 228 in health. I've got 252 in attack with Adamant. Now, once again, you can run Brave if you're running Trick Room. I'm just like whatever you're running. And I've got the last 28 in special defense too. So I'm trying to just optimize it best for this Assault Vest set. I've got Bulletproof here. Now, you can run Bulletproof or Guts. Bulletproof is actually not too bad because you're obviously blocked against a lot of those bullet moves. But if you do get, say you swap it into like, say, Toxic Spikes and things like that, you know, or someone goes Will-O-Wisp, then yeah, it's like Guts is very, very good on it because let's be real, it's very, very easy to get status in a Pokemon battle, you know, whether it's Glimora or any sort of entry hazard, Toxic Spikes, Will-O-Wisp, an ability activating. So most of the time, I would suggest Guts, but Bulletproof isn't all that bad either. For other moves like that. So I've given this one a little bit different moves. I've got Body Slam. Now, there's an option between Body Slam and Double Edge. So Double Edge is very, very good. However, you're going to lose a fair bit of health using it. So you're going to have to take some damage, obviously, unless you're in Trick Room, if you're going first. And then you're going to have to hit. And probably after that, Ursaluna's, you know, it's lost a lot of its health. So this Pokemon can be worn down fairly easily, unless you're, you know, you're under Trick Room. So that's why I gave it Body Slam, because you still got 85 base power. It also has a chance of paralyzing. And, you know, maybe after that, you can go for a Drain Punch and get some of your health back to finish it off a little bit. I've got Earthquake and Play Rough here, and I've got Terra Fairy. So you could use any of the Terras I mentioned before, you know, like Normal, Fairy, Flying. Ground, I don't know about Ground Terra. I feel like those are better Terras to use than Ground. I don't think Ground's that great a Terra. I really only like Ground on Water Pokemon. I see that's probably one of the better ones to use there. But yeah, I'd say this is definitely viable for sure. Absolutely, it's going to be very, very bulky on the special side. So a little bit more, a bit of a surprise there. Say opponent goes to special, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I failed the KO, and then you can, you know, sort of finish them off there. Especially if you've got like a Guts on this as well, and you've already like got a status free. You're sort of freeing up having Flame Orb as your item, you know, because you can still easily get status and have the Guts ability too. Let's have a look at the next one. This is Choice Band. I feel like this is definitely viable too. I've gone full on crazy with the moves here. We're just going full out damage, right? So I've got Headlong Rush here, which has got 120 base. We've got Close Combat. There's also 120 base there as well. I believe that's its best fight. Yeah, that's its best fighting move. Now, I was also thinking, that's another thing. If you're running it under Trick Room, you could probably go, I'd say Hammer Arm. That could absolutely work as well. That's definitely another move option for you there. Now, Ursaluna also has Body Slam, like the other moveset I was explaining before. If you want, you can run Facade on there. This is 85 base power, whereas Facade is 70, so you are missing out on about 15 base power there. And this is, you may not get status in the battle, so I feel like it's probably better to go Body Slam or Double Edge. I mean, Double Edge has got 120 base power. You're going to be hitting very, very hard. So maybe Double Edge is better on this set, because you're going to be choiced anyway. So yeah, we'll go with Double Edge. This is going to be like full on power. Now we've got Drain Punch on here. Let's get rid of that. So we've got Headlong Rush. Man, this is going to be straight power. We got Close Combat, Double Edge. Wow, whatever, like physical, like I'm just having a look, some super. Nah, get your back. Oh, Gunk Shot's actually not that bad. Oh, we could go Gunk Shot. Actually, Gunk Shot's not all that bad. It's also got Seed Bomb, too. We could go with Gunk Shot as coverage here. So, just any coverage move, Gunk Shot. So, we're just going for full-on power here. Now, I was thinking another good Terra on this could be low-key good. Could be Terra Poison. Yeah, you could have Terra Poison on there, too. I mean, this is just one of the many Terra options you could actually pick. So, Terra Poison, obviously, if you got Guts, that's maybe not as good an idea, but you could go with Bulletproof as well. But just another sort of idea on there. Definitely those three moves could work, but if you want to play more conservative, you can definitely have Drain Punch, Facade, Earthquake, stuff like that. But I thought, like, with this massive 140 base, you could go crazy with, like, the most powerful moves that it actually learns, which would be, kind of nice. You could even have just some coverage like Ice Punch or Play Rough on there too. So that's what or even Avalanche. I mean, Avalanche, it's a slow Pokemon anyway, so you could give that a shot, and it is choice. So that's another option you could go for there too with Ursaluna and Choice Band. Now we're sort of moving into a little bit more meme territory. Actually, before I do that, let's go to doubles. We'll come back to the Belly Drum set. So Ursaluna is going to play kind of similar in doubles. However, you'll be wanting to swap your ground type move around. It does get high horsepower, which is good. So that's 95 base power still, which is nice. You could run Earthquake if you want to. I just like high horsepower a lot of the time in doubles, but feel free to go with Earthquake too if you've got a good partner for it and, stuff like that. Now, I've given this Facade. We've got Hammer Arm here as a different move. So the reason I put Hammer Arm on there, it's already slow, and you could definitely run Trick Room for this. I've given Ice Punch on here too, because Ice is very handy to have there in doubles. So I feel like these are the best moves you could possibly go for in doubles. Obviously, we've gone back to the Flame Orb and the Gut set here. So we've adjusted. Let me just... we want to go back to the EVs there, 240. So we got 248 there, health, and we got attack to max attack there with Brave Nature. So the last little bit I put into special defense. This is going to be better just as a full-out attacker. So anything like this is going to work very, very well. I've given this Terra Flying. Once again, you got Flying, you've got Normal for Facade, you've got Fairy, Poison. So there's definitely many options there, but I feel like Flying is probably the third option I'd go for. I definitely have Normal or Fairy as probably its best ones. Even Ground could be okay too if you want like a more powerful ground move. But there you go. There's definitely some options there for doubles. I'm going to go over we might have a look at some support options for Ursaluna in a sec, but let me just go over these other movesets here before I do that. So back to the Belly Drum one. Now this is definitely memes, of course. It's going to be much harder to pull this off. So let's have a look here. So we've got 244 health there for optimization for, what do we got here? So I'm thinking a little bit more health optimization would be good here because let's face it, even if this has no attack EVs whatsoever, it's going to be one-shotting like everything, except for like, maybe an unaware Pokemon like Dondozo or something like that. Now, the main problem here with the Belly Drum Pokemon and going first is you probably want to have a good speed stat, which, yeah, Ursaluna's speed stat is rubbish, right? So we're going to be giving it Jolly Nature, Max Attack, and Max Speed. That still is not enough. So you either have the option of having Trailblaze and a Salic Berry at the same time, or you go like Citrus Berry. My health is optimized for Citrus Berry, so you could definitely do that. and, you know, rely on Trailblaze to boost up your speed. And you've got Drain Punch there to get your health back, and you've got Body Slam there too. And say if you did get burnt or status, someone used Toxic or something like that against you, or you got poison, you've got the Guts there too. So, yeah, I just gave the extra health there because instead of doing this, it's already gonna faint anyway. So I felt like that was better optimization there for its actually health or whatever. If you want to do this, you can just straight up like attack. You can do that too, but I just felt like with Belly Drum and you're very, very slow, you're going to have to take a hit, and it's going to be better if you go a little bit more like health bulk there. I've given this Terra Ground. You could get... it doesn't really matter what you give it there for Terra. I think you could just give it one of the three I mentioned already, and it's going to go pretty well. So the main thing that's going to let you down here is its speed. So I would suggest a Sticky Web. If you want to go for Belly Drum Ursaluna, I'd be... You either want to do it under Trick Room, or you want to have like a Sticky Web Pokemon, a Sticky Web Pokemon to put that web down. And, you know, after a couple of Trailblazers, sure, you know, 2 Trailblazers, you're good. You know, you're golden then. You're going to outspeed most stuff outside really, you know, speedy Pokemon like Dragapult or like Choice Scarf Pokemon, etc. If you had Salak Berry, you might be able to do it. But that means you have to get on, obviously, that low amount of health, which can be risky because you might get, you know, hit by a priority move there. So that might be better to run Trailblaze then. Trailblaze still has 50 base power, so it's going to be hitting okay, but mainly you want to be using these moves here. You can use a combination of Body Slam and Drain Punch to get your health back. All right, so that's the Belly Drum. That's definitely a meme, though. It's going to be... I mean, it won't be a meme if you get 2 Trailblazes up. The opponent's going to be rest in peace, especially with Drain Punch to get your health back, so you won't be... you know, fainting to priority and stuff like that. Yeah, that is not going to be a meme after 2 Trailblazers. That is for sure. But getting it up there is quite gimmicky. So, obviously, the ones I mentioned for, like, Guts, AV, Ban, they're going to be a lot more reliable. But if you want a little bit more of a challenge or a crazy, speedy Ursaluna, you can do that. Let's have a look at a real gimmicky set. We got a special meme Ursaluna. Now, Ursaluna gets terrible special moves, which is exactly why I wanted to have a look at it. So it does get Hyper Voice. So straight away I was like, oh, we can use like a Hyper Voice throat spray set. This will be cool. Now Guts is going to be useless here. How about we give it... You can either give it Unnerve or you could give it Bulletproof. Maybe Bulletproof. That'll be better. You might be able to get a lucky special move or like I guess a bullet move, or there's a lot of, it's interesting with Bulletproof because it's not only bullet moves, a lot of it's like ball and bomb moves, but there's some other ones in there too. It's quite a big list. But anyway, back to the point, that'll probably be better on a special set because you don't really need Guts on a special set. So the only real way of increasing your special attack, if you ever want to use a special Ursaluna, you've come to the right place. All right, got you covered. So we got that thumping 45 base special attack, and I've given it max health. Obviously, we want there's no point running speed, so we've got max health, max special attack, modest nature. Now, after a throat spray with a high voice, that gives you... Well, it's still going to be terrible. It's not going to be hitting very hard. And then you got Fake Tears as well. I thought it was interesting that it got Fake Tears. So you could, drop the opponent's special defense, and then you could hit them with a powerful hyper voice. Now, I've given this one Terra-type Ghost and Terra Blast Ghost as well, which would be pretty cool. Just for a little bit of surprise there. Say you need to set up a Fake Tears. Let's go Terra Ghost and then go, you could go Terra Blast Ghost against the, just Terra into a Ghost type to dodge the fighting move. That could definitely work there. But obviously, this is going to be hot smoking trash. If you just want to run some memes, this would be a fun little set to go for. It does get a couple of other, special moves, but they're not very good. Now, since I've run through all of these sets now, let's suggest a couple of counters to Ursaluna and maybe some teammates. So, just going to go ahead and remove a couple of these sets here. So, a counter that comes up to me straight away is Dondozo, especially the Unaware variant. That's going to be a good counter because it's going to be able to, obviously, it may not outspeed Ursaluna depending on... Well, actually, it sort of depends, because if Ursaluna is relying on Trick Room, this could be a very, very good counter, because it is actually slower than Ursaluna. But obviously, with Unaware, this will stop any, status boosts. Say you had, the Sword Dance variant that I was talking about before. This would be quite good for it. Now, Dondozo is just a massive health tank, really, and it's got a great defense stat, too. So, it can hit back pretty hard, too, with any sort of water-type move that it has. Say, even just a normal, a Wave Crash is going to do a lot of damage there to Ursaluna. So, I reckon that's a pretty good Pokemon. Anything like a Ghost type's going to be quite good here too. Let me just bring that up. So we got Ghost and Ground. Let me bring this up here. Now, man, it sort of depends. Actually, it also depends what sort of rule set you're playing to. Actually, Basca Legion's pretty good there. You've got some other ones. Goldingo's going to get wrecked because it's a Steel type. Just having a look at some other ones there. You've also got Houndstone as well. Annihilate. Now, Annihilate's actually... Annihilate's not bad here, actually, as a counter, because obviously none of the facade is not going to affect it, and obviously it's going to be able to resist those grounds, so it's not a bad Pokemon, you know, to get around. And say if... you'd only really have problems if the Ursaluna had, like, Play Rough and stuff like that. So I'd say, like, Dondozo and Annihilate. I'm sure there's more counters than that. I'm just thinking of these on the spot. So you can go with those two. As for partners, I'm thinking anything that would be able to... I mean, Dondozo, that's a good partner. Good partner and good counter too. So, I mean, Dondozo is such a good Pokemon in general. It can slot onto virtually any team and, you know, be a good partner there. So it can take any of those ice moves there, sponge any fighting moves. Now, you've also got... Goldingo's not bad either, so I'd suggest Goldingo. That's another good one. So it's going to be able to swap into those fighting moves and any, like, you know, ice, grass, stuff like that. You know, so that's a good partner as well. And, you know, it's a very, very good special attacker. So that's going to be an excellent partner too. And yeah, there you go. So a couple of little partners there. I mean, I know there's a lot. There's quite a lot that could mention. And let's go Trick Room, because I did talk about Trick Room. There's quite a few Trick Room setters here. So there's so many Trick Room setters that can work. So you've got any Trick Room setter that's going to be good for it, depending on sort of like what role you're playing on moveset. So let me think of something that could work here for like a Trick Room team. You've got Uxi's pretty good. That's not too bad. You've also got Hatterene. That could definitely work there as a Trick Room set. It's very slow itself, so that could absolutely work there. I'm not going to make it like a Hatterene setup, but yeah, you've got a Trick Room Hatterene. That could absolutely work. That's a very slow Pokemon. Works great under Trick Room. So there's a lot of options for Trick Room Pokemon. Just get something slow and go from there. Virtually, it's going to work nicely. Plus, Trick Room works so well with Ursaluna. So let's go over Ursaluna. All of Ursaluna's moves here. I've covered a lot of movesets, but I like to go over absolutely everything of a Pokemon. I don't just like to skim just the best stuff. I like to have a look and discuss everything on a set. Now, something I haven't actually mentioned here, it actually gets Bulk Up, which isn't all that bad either. Now, I could see... it's probably a bit more of a meme, but I'm going to say it anyway. So it does get Bulk Up, which it could run a Rest Sleep Talk set here. Now, I know this is obviously going to be countered quite heavily by Ghost types, but you could still run a viable... Let's go Special Defensive on this. So we're going to go Careful Nature, Max Special Attack, and we're also going to go Max... I'm just going to, like, max this health out. And we've got last little bit of defense. So the idea of this set here is to get Bulk Ups up, is just get the Bulk Ups up, and then go Body Slam as your main attacking move there. Now, another one you could do is Drain Punch. If you just want to go, you could go Terra. This obviously we're sort of going into more meme territory here, but you could do Terra Fighting Drain Punch. This will give you Sustain, and the only thing that can really stop you is Ghost type Pokemon. So same as the Body Slam set, really. If you've got anything to get rid of Ghost type Pokemon on that team, you can just swap this in and go for it. You've got Body Slam there too. If you don't want to do Bulk Up, then you really need Bulk Up for this set. Or you could go like Resto Chesto. That's another option too. Can't forget the old Resto Chesto. So we got Resto Chesto, Guts. Guts or Bulletproof would work well here. When you start setting up Bulk Ups and things like that, the opponent may try and, I don't know, toxic you. But then again, there's always that fear of you having Guts. So Guts or Bulletproof, one of those still work. So you got Body Slam. Let me suggest something here. We got, I mean, you could just give it Crunch. Like that gives coverage, or a ground type move, you know. The only thing you have to worry about is a Ghost type with Levitate. That would, like, Miss Magius, like something super conditional like that could sort of like mess you up. But yeah, you could go Chesto Berry sort of set. Or if you like, yeah, I'd probably just go Body Slam and then Crunch. I like Resto Chest though because I also like Sleep Talk because you can heal off any sort of status move, you know. I really do like that. And I'd probably go like Leftovers on there if you're running that. It's pretty easy to bring like a counter to a ghost type at the same time too. So that shouldn't be an issue at all. Another option you could do on there, while I'm thinking of it at the time, it also gets... Let's get rid of that. Let's say you were doing the Chesto Bro one. It also gets another great move, which is Body Press. And, you know, actually, I'm going to make a new set just for Body Press. I'm changing my mind here. So, we're going to do a new set, and we're going to have a look at Body Press. Now, it does have a good defensive stat, which you can make use of. The question is it worth doing this? You're missing out on this great attack stat already. I don't really think it is, but if you wanted to do this, I'd go with Bulk Up because Bulk Up and Body Press are going to work very, very nicely together. They're always a good combination there. And then you can just give it some other coverage moves there. But I believe this is wildly outclassed by its attack stat. So you're probably even better off having Drain Punch than Body Press, but if you want like a really defensive set, you could absolutely go for like a Bulk Up Body Press combination there. It's still got a good attack stat too. Definitely, its attack stat is nearly as good as that already. So you could definitely boost up both of them, and then you could pop on like Rest and Chesto or something like that, and like some other coverage move, like I don't know, I think we're like Crunch. So kind of similar to the other set, but that's another option you can go for Body Press. Is it as good as the other one? I don't think it is, but it still has like a decent chance of doing something. Whether you can fit that, you want to fit that niche onto your team or not is like another thing. So let's have a look more at status moves. We went over Protect already, Protect and Flame Warp. I feel it's a little bit of a waste. If you're a half decent player, you should be able to get that Ursaluna in on a swap, or you just go for an attacking move. Finish it off on a low amount of health and then get the Flame Orb up. I wouldn't be using a moveset up for Protect. Unless you're using doubles. Doubles, you can get away with it a bit because Protect is much better in doubles. So that's something you can consider. We were talking about the double set earlier on. That could definitely work. It's got Taunt. It's too slow to do Taunt. That's pretty useless on it unless you've got Trick Room up. You've got Yawn as well. Yawn might be handy if you want to set up or something like that. But I'd say that is a little bit gimmicky. And yeah, it's got a very, very, it's got quite a shallow sort of status moves there. It's not really much else it can do. It's got Sword Dance. I'd say like Bulk Up, Sword Dance are going to be, probably your best kind of status moves on there. And Belly Drum if you want to try for Belly Drum. So let's go with physical moves. It actually gets an enormous amount of moves here, which is actually, really, really good. Let's have a look here. So we've gone over Body Press. I did mention Avalanche, but it does have Ice Punch, Close Combat. It's got a lot of fighting type moves. No need to use Cross Shot. Oh, Focus Sash Counter. That'll be nice. Double Edge. I reckon Drain Punch is really good on Ursaluna. Like I know a lot of people may not run Drain Punch. They might be inclined to go for Hammer Arm and some other moves, but I think Drain Punch is really good on it. We've got Ice Punch, great for coverage, gone over that. Play Rough, Low Kick, there's no real... you might be able to roll it in doubles. I think there's better moves to use than that. C-Bomb's okay. Rock Side's not bad for doubles if you want... if you've got speed control, you might be able to make use of that. You've got Trailblaze, Stone Miss. There's not too much else that I haven't mentioned here that's going to be, decent and stuff like that. I think we pretty much covered everything. Let's have a look at its special moveset to finish this. It's so bad. So we got Earth Power, Hyper Voice, Terror Blast, High Beam, Snore, and Swift. So if you really, really, really want to run a special moveset, here you go. You could run a Choice Spec set, I was thinking, or you could run a Rest Throat Spray Snore set. That's another thing you can go for. Apart from that, it's absolute hot garbage. Anyway, people, that's about it for today's video on Ursula. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with another guide a little bit later on. I think we might have a look at Cleaver or Basque Legion, one of those two. Peace out, people.